friends. Welcome to your work, career, and vocation read. Make that a timeless work, career, and vocation read. I am your reader, fellow Earth sign, Virgo, that I am Mark Angelo Lyons, Mal for short. They're my initials. Professional witch, professional intuitive, president of Drawing the Circle Productions in the 1998, 24.5 years of service. At the time of this timeless recording, I am the author of Words of Grace from a Professional Witch. Available on Kindle. There's a link in the description box. You can click it and preview it for free and see some of what I've learned along the way. The 24 plus 24 years in the career of magic, miracles, and mysticism. I started really young. Yeah, click the link, see it for free, because you know what? I'm also a creator on Patreon, patreon.com/Drawing the Circle, and some of my subscribers get the original version, not the Kindle, the more Fellini-esque original version, the version that I made myself as part of their benefits. But all of my subscribers get me every morning an enlisted YouTube live stream links. They can chat with me every morning, cup of coffee, talking about the day's astrological weather, the magical applications, the spiritual implications, a little prayer, a little blessing. We're often on our way. A great way for me to start my day. It is one of my favorite things. They also have access to all of the extended readings, the part 2s that you find here on YouTube for part 1. You can do it on Vimeo on demand, pay-per-view, or you can get all of them. All of my subscribers at this point have access to the extended readings, as well as we're doing Zoom stuff over there, recording classes and workshops and parties. Oh my, tarot hangouts and Ho'oponopono. It's all really cool. We record it, so even if the people can't make it at the time, they can watch it on playback. And exclusive content. So I'm really digging it. In terms of work, career, vocation, it's one of the smartest decisions I ever made. I'm very, very thankful for my patrons and for Patreon. So if you want a deeper experience, more magic, more miracles, more mysticism, more Mal, come Patreon on Patreon. So I'm the Archangelo Lyons, Mark Angelo Lyons, but Taurus, just call me Mal. Let's get down to biz. I'm feeling it. I'm feeling this read for you today. My Taurus cat, my youngest, Melchior, is just active. All of a sudden I'm like, oh, it's time for the Taurus read. Here we go. So there may be some feline intervention. I will turn this car around if necessary. Young man, I see you. I see you coming down the stairs. So bear with me because I love doing these readings. I've been doing work, career, vocation readings for a very, very long time since I learned about the 3 levels of power, and there's a link in the description box to a video by Carolyn Myss. That's MYSS. She is a PhD. She wrote the book Sacred Contracts, and she's talking about the archetypal 3 levels of power, 3 lenses that you can look at many different aspects of life, but in these readings, we're going to look at life purpose through work, career, and vocation. Your survival, your creativity, and your higher stuff, and how to bring that all into alignment. There are chakras involved. I'll explain as I go. And these are very, very important reads. Like I said, I've been doing them for clients for a very, very long time, because if you confuse your work and your career, you'll see as we lay this out, you'll kind of go, oh. And you'll find that you usually have leverage in one of the 3, like tweak one a little bit and the others tend to balance themselves out accordingly. So check your other signs and all of that. Otherwise, both feet on the floor if you can. Focus on your breath if you will, and I promise I will do the best I can to get the clarity, guidance, and grace to help you fulfill your life purpose, for you to do what you came here to do in this life. I mean, there are archetypes involved. There's tarot. Macon healing mantra cards, getting 3 of those. And we're going to end with a whisper of Lord Ganesh to help remove the obstacles, as well as he's the Hindu god of success and prosperity. I felt it fitting, yeah? So yeah, both feet on the floor, stay grounded, because the more you're fulfilling your purpose, the more you're alchemizing this world from shadow to light, lead to gold, pain to peace, vibrationally, and maybe as a Taurus in some real solid, important, valuable ways. Please take a nice deep breath. And happy to serve. Still point. Explanation to divination. Not that hard of a transition. Using the Caroline Myss archetype cards, I call upon the collective pantheons of the divine for the Taurus collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs watching this video, receiving this reading, the 3 dominant archetypes, one for their work, one for their career, one for their vocation, hovering over their heads, determining the electromagnetic fields, the lessons being learned in the lower chakras, what they attract and what they repel, so they no longer delay, which cannot be prevented, in bringing their work, career, vocation into alignment. So, in their work, dominant 8th chakra work, I hear ya. Dominant 8th, it stuck right to my thumb. Dominant 8th chakra career, remember that one really wanted to come out. And vocation. So, what's going on here is this is going to tell you what's going on in the satellite over your head, the 8th chakra, beaming down the lessons and the soul powers that you are refining on your journey. Wow! Now we lay them down 1, 2, 3, but we read them 3, 2, 1. So this is what's going on. You got an action family archetype in your vocation, your spiritual calling. This level of power is what I say 8th chakra dominant. In other words, this next one would be heart, third eye, crown dominant, and then this one lower 3 chakra, root, sacrum, solar plexus, right? So this is very, very powerful. Action family archetype. Think of the hero's journey, right? Joseph Campbell, right? As well as Star Wars. It's an archetype that's been on the planet for a very long time. I mean, how far back you want to go? Gilgamesh, right? I need the thing for this. It's just its light type, and not the best lighting for reading, but looks good on camera. So the shadow attribute is the lead. What you're learning, what you're transforming within yourself and in your life purpose, your vocation, and Ganesha is going to help remove the obstacles from shadow to light. Lead has 3 more atoms than gold. Removing those and moving them along. So the shadow attribute, escapism, and a false sense of heroism. So that's a villain, essentially. Like, what's the shadow side of the hero? The villain, sure, there's the anti-hero, you know, Deadpool. I'm riding that vibe. That's cool. That's as need be. Oh, excuse me for just 1 second. Sorry, it was a question of either give the Taurus cat more food in his bowl or have to cope. And just stitch in time, let's just say. So, the hero's journey. I love the hero archetype. I mean, of course we all do, and as wonderful as an archetype sounds, is as toxic as it can be in the shadow. So, the shadow to light, the lead to gold, the pain to peace, on a percentage scale. The shadow attribute, as I said, escapism and a false sense of heroism. So it's either the hero running away, escapism, or a false sense of heroism, meaning that they know on some level, they don't want to look at it, they don't want to deal with it, that they're not doing the right thing in terms of their actions. But the light attribute, a passion for a journey of personal empowerment, and that's the key word there, personal. We think of heroes as rescuers, which is a different archetype, right? And avengers, it's a different archetype, right? The hero is doing it for himself, right, sisters? Doing it for themselves, climbing up that mountain. Now it says hero, heroine, just for brevity. I prefer to not gender it. Hero is hero to me. It's the hero's journey. Don't think that's misogynist or pretty much feminist, 24/7, 365, but I think just for, also to save space in the title, because you only get 100 characters. So that's very, very powerful in terms of taking your vocation into physical action in the world. This is going to be interesting. And now you got 2 child archetypes. Everybody has the child archetype in some way, shape, or form. There are different sub-patterns within it. In this case, the nature and the magical. We'll get there. The child, the victim, the saboteur, the prostitute, sacred contracts 101, Carolyn Myss. Check it out. Everybody has those 4. Nations have those 4. So we're looking at, regardless of sub-pattern, the guardian, the archetypal guardian of the power of survival in terms of innocence and safety. It's inner child stuff. It's a lot. It's a lot. Because if the child feels safe, it's up for everything. Sees things with fresh eyes. Oh, new beginnings, right? If child doesn't feel safe, it's not up for anything, right? We'll hide, we'll cower, we'll tantrum, we'll tear the place apart. So let's talk the nature child. I love the nature child. I have the nature child archetype big time. I was raised in a garden, essentially. So I garden still to this day, and my connection with nature is certainly there, but the shadow's a nightmare. And let's not forget, you can have an archetype, a reason, a season, or a lifetime in your work, career, vocation. Some of them it's lifetime, only you can know that. So the shadow, the lead in your career right now, tendency to abuse animals, people, and the environment. Now, I can't imagine anybody on my channel with that vibe, unless you're dealing, here's the other part of it, if you're not dealing with that within yourself, the lead, then you're coming from the place of the light, perhaps dealing with someone or a corporation that's doing that. See what I'm saying? In your career, that is in that shadow, that's somehow abusing animals, people, and the environment. Take your pick. Because the light attribute, then, what is probably more the case, friendship with animals, communication with nature, spirits, honey. I talk to my cats. I do. They talk back, which is kind of cool. Melchior comes up, looks at me, goes, meow, meow, freaks me out, but it happens all the time, right? It's okay. So yeah, I'm very, very familiar with this. There is a groundedness and a very Taurus earth element here. In terms of your innocence, in terms of your creativity, and of course, the next 3 cards down are really going to highlight this center lane. Here, however, how you survive in the world, your work in the world, you've got the magical child. Now, hang on. Take a deep breath. The shadow of this. Oh, the magical child. Sounds so lovely. Yeah, well, the shadow's the shadow. Pessimism, depression, and disbelief in miracles. Believing that energy and action are not required for growth. I've seen it. I've been there. I have the magical child archetype. And that's when I personally go into inner child work in some way, shape, or form from... Let's just say there's a spectrum. From the psychological, clinical approach to the tinfoil hat, woo-woo land, you know, whatever. There's a total spectrum to find your way to work with this magical child. Because, I mean, honestly, pessimism, depression, and disbelief in miracles in terms of your work in the world or how you have to survive in this world makes sense, where the world is, at least the time of this timeless recording, and has been for a while. The light attribute, seeing the potential for sacred beauty in all things, belief that everything is possible. Now, that obviously takes innocence. So how do you help that magical child, that the creative child is a different archetype, but certainly that belief that everything is possible, it takes a level of vulnerability, right? So there's something here in the nature child, although action here is really much more of a vocation, mystical power kind of thing. Let's lay the other cards on the table. This is as much as we talk about any of those cards. That's the archetypal foundation, the skeleton. So let's build. Moving downward. We've got heart, throat, third eye, and crown with the Daughters of the Moon Tarot to get the feminine, the yin, the internal. This deck of cards, these chakras are particularly dominant here, just as these 3 are really... It's all about vocation. It's all about alignment. Please take a nice deep breath. Still point. As I call upon my goddesses of earth, the sign of Taurus, powers of the north, please, beloved goddesses of fixed earth, fertile earth, not creative like cardinal, but fixed, life value, second dynamic for this Taurus collective, sun, moon, rising, Venus signs watching this video, receiving this reading. We're going to lay them down. Work, career, vocation, face down, but we're going to turn them over. Vocation, career, work. So in their survival, the magical child, how's that affecting the inner heart, third eye, crown dynamics? In their vocation, the nature child. This is second heart, third eye, crown is second level of power, dominant, creative, intuition here. What do they got? Is this their leverage? Because it feels to me like it is. And yet there is the hero. The hero in their vocation, which a mystical spiritual hero, I mean, for me, say mystical hero, I immediately go Dr. Strange and Dr. Fate. At least they've got degrees. And I'm sure some of them are PhDs, EIO. So please, what's going on? This could be really, really, really off the chart for the Taurus collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs. What's going on? A hard third eye crown for them there. And no, in their vocation, I want to be sure, send it around one more time. That's the one. You want me to take my time. You want the right card. Let's see. Let's read them this way. Right now, in terms of your vocation, you've got the moon on the inside, and there's a spectrum there as well. From cloudy with a chance of mystical meatballs, right? Not really sure what's going on inside of yourself, or you have all of these chakras in alignment intuitively. That the emotional part of this, your intuitive connection of all of those chakras, is blazing the path before you, but what are you seeing on the outside? We will see in the next three cards that hit the table after we're done with these. The card of the moon, Yemaya, here really is saying that in terms of your life purpose, it is something that lights you up, all four chakras inside, but perhaps in a more healing heart chakra way with that element of water. But we will see, because here in your career with the nature child is Eight of Cups. That's why I say perhaps this is a bit more on the emotional side, what's going on here. The Eight of Cups, a walking away usually. Here we see the word withdrawal written on the card at the bottom. So it is a woman with a torch who rowed a boat to an island to follow a trail of cups, some standing, some spilled, into a cave to what? To find the ninth cup. So that interior mystical withdrawal, and I would say really obvious withdrawing into nature. To recharge yourself, to find that connection, and that, communication with nature spirit seems a little bit like, how is that part of my career? But that's where inspiration often comes. It often does for me, which is why I garden. Right? It's like I don't have to go climb a mountain and ford a river. I'm all right. So, is this walking away from something emotionally? I'd say heart chakra. It's a deeper exploration. Here, magical child archetype to balance this out so it kind of makes sense. You got success. The Six of Pentacles. Now, success under handicap in this deck. That balance of it inside, the wisdom that you've gotten as a result of this magical child, that inside of yourself there's enough of a stability that you're breaking through things. Of course, that is a Paralympics image on that card. So often, success, that's been hard to get there, right? Through whatever that Five of Pentacles was, you are there at the sixth. So you put this together, you've got the moon, really that alignment of the hero, like in that place of I'm not really sure, we'll see on the outside, right? But definitely a deeper journey in. But I have to say, in terms of your career and your work, the innocent, vulnerable part of it, it makes sense that there need to be some boundaries in place. And let's look at what those might be on the outer with the lower three chakras. The Mythic Tarot, a favorite of mine, speaks Greek myth. It is my favorite language, Greek myth. The outside looking in at you, you at the inside looking out at a person, place, or thing, a people, right? A tribe, lower chakra, any 3 or more people you're involved with this, a tribe, including a corporation, right, a family, all of that. Second chakra, your relationship to money, 101, creativity, relationship to another person or thing. And solar plexus, your relationship to yourself, your self-image, which is a noun, but your self-esteem, which is a verb, right? So finding the balance of that. Your honor code, what you will, what you want, what you do, what you don't. Let's see what hits the table. Please take a nice deep breath. Still point. And here we go. As I call upon my gods of Taurus. My gods of earth, the sign of Taurus, powers of the north, please, beloved one, anchor this into the physical form, the first level of power, dominant, lower 3 chakra, the masculine energy, inside out, outside in, per the Taurus collective. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs watching this video, receiving this reading, will lay them down, work, career, vocation, but we're going to read them vocation, career, or because they've got the magical child in the 8th chakra, success on the inner or breakthrough on the inner. Let's see what happens on the outer. The nature child in the 8th of their career. Withdrawing into nature seems like an obvious, but what's going on? Lower 3 chakras there. Inside out, outside in. Can feel that. What's going on? Inside out, outside in, lower 3 chakra dynamic. There's some work involved there. And the hero, heroine in their vocation, which a mystical, spiritual kind of hero-heroine deal with the moon, the Yamaya, a very divine feminine card, certainly, but that intuitive knowing within all of those chakras at once. What do you got, lower 3 chakras? The masculine energy for the Taurus and their work, career, vocation. Okay, good. Smart. You're going to keep a good bunch of this to yourself. Let's start with your vocation. Like I said, the hero, the heroine in the 8th and action archetype, really going intuitively with the Scorpio card. Helen of Troy, the Queen of Cups. Scorpio energy, fixed water. This could be you from the outside looking in, playing your cards close to your chest, not saying a word, and vibing, right? Intuiting the heck out of this thing. Fixed water, or you are dealing with somebody obviously in your life that is that. But 9th house dynamic, Scorpio, transformation, deep intuition, but lower 3 chakras. I would say pay attention to your 2nd chakra here in terms of if your gut says no, the answer's no for now. Just saying. Particularly if this is like ringing a bell. If you're doing, and particularly if it is cloudy with a chance of mystical, because mysticism is what it is, right? It's a mystery until you see what it is, if ever, right? Then certainly pay attention to your gut. Pay attention to your deep intuition. And maybe don't say a word. Scorpios are known for their stillness of water, fixed water, and as a result, silence, but deep empathy and resonance. In your career, the magical child, the nature child withdraws with temperance. Lower 3 chakras. It's all 3 chakras, just like heart, third eye, crown there with the moon. This is root, sacrum, and solar plexus. Oh, she's upside down. Sorry. The goddess Iris, the goddess of the rainbow, the temperance of it all. To take the time, to take patience, to heal. But let's be clear. Look up the word temper. Now, of course, you'll come across anger kind of temper, but like tempering metal, it's not an easy process. It takes time, it takes patience, it takes heat, and it takes pressure. So there is a withdrawal here that from the outside is one for healing and balance, and perhaps slowing it down and doing perhaps the healing, the emotional part of the emotional withdrawal, going in, diving into that moon hero part of it as well. And certainly then it makes sense that in your career, in your work in the world, how you survive, the magical child has a success. And High Priestess does not say a word about it, but is vibing, is feeling, is pay attention to the lower 3 chakra dynamic, particularly in their work in their world and how they survive. Really interesting cards here, because who do you want to protect the magical child but the High Priestess, right? That's pretty cool. So of course there's a visionary part of that. You have a breakthrough on the inner, you've learned something, you have success, you're moving forward on the inner in terms of what you have gained in wisdom, element of earth, in terms of interacting with the world. But you're not sharing it right now, but you are certainly vibing on it, and there are secrets that you know. Unless, of course, that is someone in your life you're dealing with, and that may be the case, but in that case, I think it would be a mirror. Yeah? All right. Done with Tarot Town. Let's get us 3 of these not booking the Matt Kahn Healing Mantra decks. These mantras are very, very powerful, and I don't really need the book to put them together in a pattern. As you know, I do usually read them from the bookie book in the readings, but we're going to save that bookie book reading for the Whispers of Lord Ganesha, our last card down. Please take a nice deep breath. Still point. As I call upon the ascended masters of life, purpose, quite the contract lawyers that you are, through the lenses of work, career, vocation for the Taurus collective. I don't know why that was. Work, career, and vocation read. Perfect healing mantras, work, career, vocation. We'll read them, vocation, career, work, both directions, for them to fulfill their life purpose, to bring it together, to help unify not just each chakra column, but bringing it all together for a more fulfilling life purpose, more gold than lead in this timeless read for their work. The magical child, success on the inner, High Priestess on the outer. For their career, the nature child, withdrawal on the inner, but temperance on the outer, which is a good way to do it. And in their vocation, the hero in the 8th, the moon, Yamaya on the inner, and Helen of Troy, Queen of Cups, Scorpio vibe, lower 3 chakras. What you got there for their vocation in this timeless work, career, vocation read? Okay. Here we go. So if we read the title of the mantra, it tells you one thing. You flip the card, you read the mantra, it tells you the same thing, but in a more applicable way. So in your vocation, the hero is dealing with the moon on the inner and not really talking about it on the outer, because they are transforming tragedy. Loss is my reminder that more room has been made for greater gifts to be received. Now, that is the mystical part of it, integrating that all the way down into the physical form in terms of what was lost and how it was lost is certainly something that the child archetype is going to deal with. But the hero and the heroine can be aware of that. It's like, this is a process. I'm feeling my way through this. There's a strong emotional, intuitive component to this, and that is part of the cycle. There is no loss without gain. There is no, it's part of the cycle of erosion and renewal. So a hero transforming tragedy. It's what we do, right? The child has embodying my soul. So you got the nature child, right? Withdrawing with temperance, embodying the soul. They have a right to be excited. And sometimes the withdrawal doesn't feel like excitement. But considering the Nine of Cups is usually considered a wish coming true kind of card, it's worth the withdrawal to go within and do that. But it is going to take time, as it is. And how easy is it to be patient when you're excited when you're a kid, right? Well, you have the opportunity to do this in a wise and perhaps even fun way. Eight of Cups does not need to be such intense shadow work 24/7. You might just need to get your feet in the sand or your arms around a tree or whatever it is that you do in order to recharge a bit. And you have a right to be excited about your career as a result. And in your work, the magical child with... again, a breakthrough, a balance, a moving forward, not Ten of Pentacles yet, but with the High Priestess not talking about it, receiving elation. I am born of infinite joy. That is very much the voice of the soul. That is very much the golden inner child, if we're going to talk archetypes from lead to gold. But a magical child that may very well be keeping their mouth shut and paying attention in the work and survival area, because they've achieved something. They've got some wisdom. This ain't no, hopefully innocent at core we all are, but an ability to see, now I am a magical child. I can make this work. Anything's possible. That's very, very powerful. Because they are born of infinite joy. There is something a little rebellious I'm feeling about this, but not in an overt way. Persephone, Our Lady of the Underground. Thank you, magicians, for that. That was beautiful. A magical child could do a lot with this in terms of how they survive, because it is a survival family archetype in the first level of power. Your lower three chakras, survival, intuition, just pay attention. So, a way to read these that I think is kind of fun, you just play with it. You make little paragraphs. So, I'm working, receiving elation, I'm embodying my soul in my career, and I'm transforming tragedy, but then you reverse it, and here's your mantra. Loss is my reminder that more room has been made for greater gifts to be received. I have a right to be excited. I am born of infinite joy. Boom. Really not that hard, not complex. Just understand you have the right to be excited, but there's a temperance process involved. Look into what temperance, the process of tempering metal, it gives you a perspective, very metaphoric, for the process of spiritual awakening. I will say that. I will say that as archetypes go, as metaphors, similes, as you will. Lord and Lady Fanda Danda, what a pleasure. So we have one more card, our last card down. The star of the show, the elephant-headed Hindu god of success, prosperity, and the remover of obstacles, the whispers of Lord Ganesh. Now she says Ganesha, that's new for me, but blessed be. Angelo Hartfield, and this has become like a sacred means of communication with Ganesh, and only getting one of them to help you find your leverage here. Now, honestly, I'm going to say, this center lane feels powerful. Yes, there is a success here, but you're not ready to necessarily act on that. But the temperance part, to really, it feels like that's the most practical. Go recharge yourself, however, connecting to nature. Even that's your kitties, your birdies, your puppies, whatever somebody else is, just connect with nature. Because there is a healing of loss here, and there is a turning of the wheel. Please take a nice deep breath. I do go on. It's what I do for a living. Like the gods, I'm good at it. Still point. Alright, talk about work, career, vocation. Beloved Lord Ganesh, it is my honor, my pleasure to serve. One card in clarity, please, for the Taurus collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs watching this video, receiving this reading. Help them alchemize shadow to light, lead to gold, pain to peace, toxic to healthy, manifesting their life purpose through work, career, vocation, that they just hit gold, gold, gold as much as possible. But we know, sounds simple, not easy. Help them, please. What is your guidance, your grace, your love, your wisdom, your power, your oracle message? Help them remove those obstacles from lead to gold in their work, career, vocation in this timeless read. Healing. Boom. Healing. And you say, oh, thanks. Well, This is the god of prosperity and the remover of obstacles, and this book is very well written. Card number 36, riding a peacock of all things. Giddy up. What? Card number 33. Oh my god, I can count. 34, 35, 36, and it's about a paragraph or two. Please breathe in the Lord Ganesh. Please take a nice deep breath. Oh, beloved Ganesh, transmit this blessing. Card number 36, healing. The true essence of your soul is one of complete health, and you are embodying the soul, embodying that child. Ganesha is pictured sitting on a peacock. Peacock feathers have been used in curative remedies for thousands of years. Across countless traditional cultures, they are said to carry spiritual medicinal energy that can assist people seeking balance and healing in their lives. So, ethically sourced, it sounds problematic. The challenges of daily life can throw you out of balance with the truth of your being. It is easy to get caught up in the daily grind and in a general feeling of lack. Remember that you were created from the perfection of divine light and love. Your physical body is simply a shell that covers your soul. And receiving elation, I am born of infinite joy, and embodying the soul, I have a right to be excited. Transforming a tragedy seems like that clicks together in terms of healing as it would, right? True healing is only possible when you take responsibility for your own well-being on this earth and your self-empowerment. See yourself as complete, healthy, and whole. Ganesha prompts you to believe that you truly are capable of handling any matters of health or relationship without blame and with integrity and grace. And an easy way to sum that up, it's not your fault, it's your responsibility. That's what the game is all about. Boom, right? And how does a child deal with that? Hopefully with innocence. And I'm telling you, get into nature. It just seems to be kind of yelling at me with Taurus energy, right? It's like, I don't know, go grab a rock, do what you gotta do, salt bath, something. Connect with nature, because it might be a long haul, but you'll draw on such power from the innocence of your connection to nature itself as an earth sign. Healing. So I'm going to put this together for you in a blessimation, a combination of a blessing and a summation, as I do. And at the end of it, I will release the collective to the best of my ability, usually by letting the goofy run free. And, there's a difference between childlike and childish. Dalai Lama, Pee Wee Herman, I'm somewhere in the middle. The sublime and the ridiculous, the sacred and the profane. Please take a nice deep breath. Still point. As I call a couple one more time, that's a high energy now. As I call upon the collective pantheons of the divine for the Virgo collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs watching this video, receiving this reading, a hero, nature, magical child, put that together, it rings. May they be blessed with all that they need, that the hero can embrace that passion for a journey of personal power. And it is a journey, though mystical, magical, cloudy with a chance of mystical meatballs, and going deeper into the mercy, or working with someone who can help them, as a Scorpio, by the way, transforming a tragedy, because loss is the reminder that more room has been made for greater gifts to be received. It doesn't mean they have to like it, they just have to endure it and heal as they can, finding their way with Yemaya on the inner in terms of their larger life's vocation, and so that this nature child can embrace their friendships with animals and communication with nature spirits, which allows for an innocence and an opening and a flexing of the energy field in a way that allows the earth sign to ground as they withdraw, Eight of Cups, maybe emotionally from a situation, but into their own selves to get that ninth cup with a process of temperance, the goddess of the rainbow. know, guiding and balancing this process that will take time. They have a right to be excited, embodying their soul. The ego in the pain, the soul knowing how to do it, and the personality has just got to choose, and they are, with innocence, with recharging, with getting back to maybe some basics, so that in their work, in their world, this magical child can see the potential for the sacred in everything, which is a word I think got lost in all of this, which of course allows for a breakthrough, a success on the inner that they don't have to talk about, but they can be tuning to very, very clearly as the high priestess, with a high priestess somewhere being the middle pillar between a black thing and a white thing. As they receive elation because they were born of infinite joy. So this magical child, to believe in miracles and experience them viscerally, and keep their mouths shut about it for a bit and vibe all of this. May they be blessed that they manifest the very best work, career, vocation alignment they can moving forward with healing. With Ganesh helping them, all they got to do is ask and move along step by step, because it's a hero's journey of a natural, magical child for the well-being of all. And with harm to none, as we will it, so let it be done. So let it be. And so it is. Something maternal and parental just came through me. I love you, my Tauruses. Did you like the reading? Then by all means hit the thumbs up, and if you want more, I may subscribe, because I'm not stopping. The divine apparently doesn't want me to, and do hit the subscription button and the notification bell, because I sometimes put these out when they're ready. These I think I'm going to schedule so I can take some days off, maybe. Oh my goodness, the scandal. But if you want the deeper, the more magic, the more miracles, the more mysticism, the more Mel, come to Patreon on Patreon. I am the Archangel of Lyons, Angelo Lyons, that really you can call Mal, and we're having quite the field day over there, that lovely community we're building. And if you want to book me for a private read, easy enough to do. There's a link in the description box. Booking a reading with Mal, I hear, explains everything you ever wanted to know about booking a reading with Mal. You're afraid to ask. I have to keep that fun for myself, letting you all go with the goofy, but I hope you enjoyed the reading. I did. And I love you, my Taurians. Have at it. Wishing you the very best and the very blessed. Anchor this into the Earth's electromagnetic field. We could all benefit from it. Now, farewell and blessed be.